Warning. This is a classic look-ahead game for any college football team. You're ranked number 4 in the country. You are favored by 3.5 touchdowns, and you are waiting for another top 10 team who's on bye a week from now in Penn State. This is what they call a classic look-ahead game for this program. All the Michigan football players and coaches who watch this show, of which there are many, don't be thinking about Penn State tomorrow. Don't be thinking about Penn State right now. Think about Indiana. You can start worrying about Penn State on the trip home from Hoosierville Saturday afternoon after a resounding win over Indiana. All right, folks, we will be back tomorrow immediately after the game with the fastest Michigan football post-game show on planet Earth, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's youtube.com/Michigan TV. We're going to talk Blake Corum. We're going to talk J.J. McCarthy and more Michigan, Indiana tomorrow at noon. It's all coming up in the Michigan Football Report from Chat Sports right now. We're going to take your questions on today's Friday edition of the show. Dam0013, a.k.a. at Dan0013. Is that a typo there, Dan? I don't know. Follow me on Twitter for a while. I follow him back. He says, Michigan needs to use Edwards more. Corum is overwhelmed. It's funny. This is from the post-game instant reactions mailbag we did on Saturday. Also, woman referee was smoking hot yesterday. I didn't actually notice the referee, but bonk. Okay, bonk stick for you, Dan. I agree. 59 carries in 2 weeks, despite what Jim Harbaugh says, despite Blake Corum saying he can handle it, he hopes he gets better after more carries. You don't want Blake Corum getting hurt. Remember what happened last year? He got hurt, right? He got hurt, and he missed a couple games, and he was hobbled. And he could have broke that run against Ohio State in the third quarter off for a touchdown normally, but he was hobbled a little bit. And Michigan's already been down their backup running back this year. Donovan Edwards has already missed a couple games, so I think they need to work Donovan Edwards much more into the rotation. If Donovan Edwards does not get 10 to 12 carries against Indiana tomorrow, I think something is seriously wrong with the running back rotation that Mike Hart and the offensive staff for Michigan has going on. But I'll ask you guys this question. How many rushing yards will Blake Corum have tomorrow against the Hoosiers? Go down and comment for me below. You might get hit with an ad break here on YouTube, so this is the time. Scroll down. I'll pin this comment below today's video. Go ahead and scroll down, comment, come right back up, and the ad break should be done. Next question coming up from Rare You Mish. He says, Blake Corum will be in New York. Book it. And I don't think he's talking about Michigan's trip to Rutgers coming up in November. I believe he means the Heisman Trophy. Michigan hasn't had a running back Heisman finalist since Chris Perry in 2003, who I believe finished 5th in the Heisman, was the Doak Walker award-winning running back that year for the best running back in the country. Jim Harbaugh's had 2 Heisman finalists. Crazy enough, they've both been defenders. Jabril Peppers in 2016 and, of course, Aiden Hutchinson last year. Let's kind of compare Blake Corum. Where does he stand historically against the last 2 Heisman Trophy winners at the running back position? Both Alabama guys, okay? Mark Ingram, through their first 5 games, Blake Corum has as many or more carries. Him and Derrick Henry, the exact same amount of carries, 93, as both those guys. He has considerably more yards, right? 130 or so more than Ingram and, 61 more than Derrick Henry. And he has more touchdowns than both of those guys. So it's very interesting to keep an eye on this. I think this is a graphic that I am going to be updating on a weekly basis as long as that Blake Corum keeps getting 100 yards or a touchdown or 2 every single week. I don't want to keep seeing him getting 29 carries, 30 carries, things like that. But Michigan has shown if they're inside the 5-yard line, inside the 10-yard line, their offensive creativity is very limited. It really kind of consists of J.J. McCarthy handing off the ball to Blake Corum or what? I'm not really sure what we've seen other than that so far this season. So I'm interested to see if Blake Corum can keep it up, if they continue to feed him the ball inside the 10-yard line. And can he get up to 20 touchdowns? Can he get up to 14, 15, 1,600 yards? If he does, we'll guarantee be a finalist in New York and might have an outside chance of winning it. I don't know if you guys saw this. I tweeted it out on Wednesday night. It's kind of a meme going around the internet. You fill in the blank with the last part of that photo. And it's funny. You guys have seen the thing I'm done on the YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter. It's third quarter of the Michigan State game. Hey, anyone know the Michigan State score? My internet's down. Clearly, I'm just joking around. You can't tweet if your internet's down. But I think this is a pretty funny tweet. And Michigan State fans are in shambles. They've lost 3 straight games, about to lose a 4th straight game. And I just want you guys to show all the Michigan State fans a welcome who come and troll our comment section. Comment Tuck coming which has been their recruiting mantra and their mantra that's going to take down Michigan. They're smoking the cigars, holding the dogs on chain. Tuck coming. Make sure you remind them this is what they signed up for. They gave the guy a 10-year, $95 million contract just because LSU called and said, would you interview for the job? He's a 500 coach in his, 3 seasons as a head coach so far, 2 at Michigan State and 1 at Colorado. This is now year 3 at Michigan State, and he is 2-3. So go ahead and type Tuck coming to show our Michigan State fans, I guess not fans, the Michigan State fans who come and troll this show's comments. Welcome them to the Michigan Football Report. Michigan is favored by 23 points tomorrow at Indiana. Over-under is 59 points. We have got the BetUS jersey deal going on for one more day. So get going with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. You want to bet on sports? You want to bet in the NFL on Sunday? You want to bet in college football? Major League Baseball playoffs? The NBA is right around the corner in a couple weeks. Go to chatsports.com/GoBlue. Use the promo code GoBlue. 125% deposit bonus. That's been going on for a couple months now. But this week only, ending tomorrow at kickoff, go to chatsports.com/GoBlue. Here's what you've got to do to get the jersey deal. You go to the website, you use promo code GoBlue, you sign up and you deposit $100 or more, 125% deposit bonus. You got that. You make your first bet. You email us, jersey@chatsports.com. Send us your BetUS account number, and we will get you a Michigan football #1 Jordan brand jersey shipping from us to you. Don't be calling BetUS saying, where's my jersey? We're going to send you the jersey. I got a pile of Michigan football jerseys behind my desk now, waiting to ship them off to you guys. So get going with BetUS, our sportsbook partner. We did this last year. A bunch of you guys took advantage of it. Make sure you don't miss out. Chatsports.com/GoBlue. Promo code is GoBlue. Question coming in from Emmanuel DeLoca. JJ, I guess this isn't really a question. It's more of a statement. JJ has to clean the fumbling problem. Other than that, this is his team, and there is no going back. And I've been on this fumbling thing for a few weeks now because it's kind of becoming a theme. It reminds me of Shea Patterson in 2019. I said last week, if he fumbles, I'm going to lose my mind. He did. No more fumbles, JJ. No more fumbles. If he fumbles this week, I'm retiring from this show. I quit. I'm retiring. I'm done. This is the last episode will be the one you're watching right now. If he fumbles at Indiana, this show ceases to exist. So the pressure is on you, J.J. McCarthy. You've got another season and a half in Michigan, okay? I got a lifetime of seasons left. Are you going to end this show, right? It'll be 2047. I'll still be doing this show. J.J. McCarthy will be retired from the NFL for 15 years. Everything's in your hands right now, J.J. If you fumble again, I quit because I just can't deal with it anymore. In 2019, I did the no turnover chain. That seemed to work for Shea Patterson and what they had going on there. Me threatening quitting. Maybe he'll fumble on purpose. Harbaugh sees this. We all remember 2019. They put in Zach Charbonnet for a couple plays just to stick it to me when I told you Zach Charbonnet was injured. Maybe Harbaugh will say, JJ, just fumble on the first snap and kind of pick it back up and fall on it. Make Yoder quit the show. Either way, that's what's going on. Make sure to follow me on Twitter because if he does fumble, I will be not melting down here on YouTube. It will be a full meltdown on Twitter tomorrow at James Yoder. I'll be live tweeting throughout the game as much as I can. We're trying to put together our post-game show, in the second half, so I try to start being a little bit inactive. But if he fumbles, I'll be doing a video right there. You'll see me fully in shambles, so make sure to follow me. Link is down in the comments and the description of today's video and right there below me on screen. Tyler G says, we got to start letting JJ sling the ball more to get in comfortable situations when we can't run the ball. This is where Michigan, on second watch last week against Iowa, I kind of understood the game plan. Okay, that makes sense. But Indiana and what they've got going on defense reminds me more of Colorado State and Hawaii than it does Penn State or Iowa. So J.J. McCarthy is leading the nation in completion percentage, over 78% completion percentage, on pace right now for an NCAA record, right? He would have it if he finished with that. He won't. That's an absurd pace to keep up. But only 6 touchdowns in 4 starts. And 3 of them, if I recall, came against Hawaii. So in his last 3 starts, he's only had 3 touchdowns. It was 0, it was 2, then it was 1. So what the problem with the offense that Michigan has right now with J.J. McCarthy is he hasn't hit the deep ball for 3 games, okay? And inside the 20, they don't seem to have plays that put him in the right position to, throw touchdown passes. Last week's touchdown pass, it was not what it was intended to be. You remember Donovan Edwards caught the touchdown pass, but he had kind of just skirted out to the right side and was kind of curling at the 5-yard line. McCarthy rolled out because the edge, the defender came off the edge. He got out on the outside and he kind of waved him out. Donovan Edwards went behind the defender, caught the ball in a little tip drill. It's outside of that. McCarthy would have 2 0-touchdown games in his second and his fourth start. Michigan needs to be more creative in the passing game once they get inside the 20 because that has lacked from this offensive game plan so far this season. Juan Blue, a.k.a. at John N. 1131. We've had 2 to 3 drives that made me think Josh Gass was calling plays again, and this is against the Iowa game. Other than that, the play calling was excellent. Pass rush showed up when it had to. Defensive backs were probably his biggest disappointment. Good road win overall. Iowa reminded me in the fourth quarter, end of the third quarter, a lot of Michigan in the Lloyd Carr years when they were in a tougher game than expected. It's like, wow, why don't we let John Navarro, Chad Henne throw the ball 35 times a game? Because we just march on the field and score, and that's what we saw from Iowa. So maybe their offensive philosophy changed a little bit based on what they did against Michigan. But when it came down to it, he's absolutely right. Michigan had 3 sacks in the game, kind of defining drive there in the fourth quarter. Mike Morris, yabby Okie, they came through. Okie needs to be a starter for sure, in my opinion, along with Mason Graham. I think there's a lot of guys in this defensive line that have yet to perform up to the expectations of a starter at this school. But I want to ask you guys on the offensive side of things, the play calling. Give me a grade for this co-offensive coordinator situation, Sharon Moore, Matt Weiss, that Michigan has going on so far this season. A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going B- at this point. I will kind of reassess after Indiana's game with a mid-year grade coming up next week. But give me your grade: A, B, C, D, or F. This made me joke because I saw this coming on the screen. Hebrew Hammer, happy holidays on Wednesdays. Good offense. Defense is suspect as F. I can't swear. I'm not that kind of guy. Will Iowa throw for 250? Imagine what Ohio State will do. They'll need to improve big time, or Ohio State will light us up. 100% true. Michigan showed last year that they can give up yards on the ground, through the air at times. When it came down to it against Ohio State, the defensive philosophy with Mike McDonald, who's not doing too hot right now in Baltimore, by the way, it was exactly what Notre Dame did this year against Ohio State, limited them to 21 points. So we'll see if they switch things up, if they've got the game plan for Ohio State. But as always, folks, I think Michigan needs to beat Ohio State again, and it means a little different this year, right? It's not beat them again like we used to way back in the day. It's again. It's almost, we might need to add a comma there. Beat Ohio State again, because it's been a long time, since 2019, since Ohio State has beat Michigan. Feels like a generation ago. Michigan's trying to do it for the second straight season and third straight year overall of not losing to the Buckeyes. So go ahead and type BOSA, B-O-S-A, beat Ohio State again. If you want, hell, if you think that the Wolverines will beat the Buckeyes down in Columbus for the first time since Drew Henson, Anthony Thomas, and Anthony Thomas on the team, David Terrell and others beat Ohio State down in Columbus in the year 2000. That's a Saturday Night Live thing, I think. Yep. Last take on today's show is yabby Okie. I watched the Big Ten in 60, Big Ten Network, every play. He got in 20-plus snaps. I think it was 25 snaps against Iowa. He's a difference maker. You can see why he's a 5-star. He needs to be in the starting lineup for Michigan, and there is nothing you're going to tell me that is going to make me think otherwise at this point. There are players like Chris Jenkins, like Jalen Harrell, who were playing a lot of snaps. Braden McGregor, they've got him out of the rotation. Yabby Okie's in. They got to play him more. He's got to be starter. If he's not playing 30-plus snaps this week against Indiana like I expect him to based on his performance, I got to question the defensive coaching staff under Jesse Mittner that Michigan is putting, the philosophy, the rotation of players that they're putting in play here, because I feel that one of your best 4 to 5 players in this defense so far this year is yabby Okie. He's only been a part of this program for 7 weeks, folks. Imagine what he can do with an entire offseason if he decides to stick around for the 2023 season. He could always go pro if he decided that he would be drafted. He's been in college for 5 years. You never know what will happen there. But expect him to get more snaps tomorrow, and I hope and expect him to be in the starting rotation before the Michigan State game at the absolute worst. All right, we will be back right after the game tomorrow, unless JJ McCarthy fumbles, then I quit. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/MichiganTV.